A warm welcome to your Barbados Today Evening News Update. Today, Tuesday, May 19. Barbados' Ambassador to the United Nations, Liz Thompson, has tested positive for COVID-19 and is to be isolated at the Harrison Point facility in St. Lucie. In a statement, the Ministry of Health said that Thompson, who has no symptoms and is doing well, traveled to Barbados from New York via private jet yesterday afternoon to visit her 95-year-old mother, who is gravely ill. Authorities said Thompson was tested at Paragon immediately after her arrival, and the test results, which came back this morning, revealed she was positive. The ministry said Thompson was allowed to visit her mother, but she has had no contact with any other family members. The ministry says it will continue to deal with the case as it has handled all others on the island. 2 people tested positive for COVID-19 yesterday out of a total of 163 tests conducted by the Besta Santos Public Health Laboratory. There are a 50-year-old Barbadian woman who arrived in the island yesterday and whose case is under investigation, and a 42-year-old crew member of one of the cruise ships off Barbados who was transferred from the ship for emergency medical treatment. No one was released from isolation today. There are now 90 confirmed cases of COVID-19, 47 females and 43 males. 15 people are still in isolation and 68 others have recovered. 7 people have died. Up to yesterday, 4,167 tests had been completed by the Public Health Laboratory. Industrial action at some of the island's healthcare facilities was quickly averted today following the intervention of Prime Minister Mia Mottley and Health Minister Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Bostic. This morning, nurses at the Sir Winston Scott Polyclinic and the Brantford Tate Polyclinic walked off the job in support of their colleagues at the geriatric hospital. The nurses were concerned about their safety, appointments, and other matters. NUPW Acting General Secretary Delcia Burke met with the government officials, and when both sides emerged, they admitted that poor communication was at the heart of the concerns.
The body recognized very early that it really was a problem of communication, more so than of things not being done. The meeting discussed the appointment of environmental health officers and nurses at the polyclinic, and it was communicated that these appointments were actually done and they are effective since May the 15th, and the officers will be communicated to. There was also a problem with the locums who are temporary doctors who have some issues which were discussed today and which will be sorted out as soon as possible. And then there were other issues relating to the geriatric hospital. Those issues are also being worked on or have been worked on, and therefore will be communicated to the nurses and the other staff at the geriatric hospital.
The 2 sides have agreed to hold weekly meetings involving the union, the Ministry of the Public Service, and any other ministry deemed necessary. Minister Bostic stressed that communication is key.
The deliberations that were held this morning, we've been able to resolve the issues that were raised. And if there's one thing, certainly from the Ministry of Health's perspective, that we will have to correct is the chains and channels of communication, so that all of the information gets down to the bottom, so that all persons are kept in the loop at all times. And I think once we do this and we meet regularly with the relevant stakeholders, that we should be able to resolve all issues over the next coming weeks or months. But a lot of things have been dealt with already, but have not been communicated directly to the persons involved.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To regional news now. In Guyana, the People's Progressive Party is fine-tuning plans for the way it will govern the country once it is sworn into office. The party remains confident that once the national vote recount is completed, it will be declared the winner. In an interview with the newsroom's Neil Mark, presidential candidate Irfan Ali says tackling the COVID-19 pandemic will be a top priority.
We have been doing this assessment over the last few months. So from day one, we are ready to run with policies and programs and incentives to deal with it in a multidisciplinary way that it has to be dealt with. And then, of course, we have to address the serious problems on the ground. The unemployment issues, the issue with bauxite, the issue with the large mining companies, issue with sugar, the rice farmers. We have to address issues in the forestry sector. So there's a lot of, in the construction and services sector. So there's a lot of decisions that has to be made very early.
On the international front, the party of French President Emmanuel Macron has lost its outright majority in parliament after a group of MPs broke away to form a new party. We get the details in this report.
7 are splintering from Macron's La République En Marche party to join the new Ecology, Democracy, Solidarity or EDS group, which says it has 17 parliamentarians already within its ranks. For more, I'm joined now by Armand Georgian, International Affairs Editor. Armand, just how bad is this for the French leader as he struggles with the COVID-19 crisis?
Well, this is a blow to President Macron's image. There's no doubt about that. You know, he's been telling the French nation that it has to stick together to overcome this crisis, and now his own party splits. So that's not ideal when you're trying to be a unifying figure. And of course, Macron wanted to be seen as a strong leader in contrast to his predecessor, François Hollande, who had been seen as hesitant and indecisive. François Hollande lost his outright majority in Parliament. Macron must have hoped that the same would not happen to him, and now it has. In practical terms, though, this probably doesn't change very much, because if you look back at crucial votes in the French Parliament, for example, on the budget or the state of emergency, there were already some MPs in the ruling party who abstained because they weren't happy with the laws. And Macron at that point was able to count on a few MPs from other parties to make up the difference and get the vote over the line. So he could probably do the same in the future.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.